Howdy, howdy, howdy. Are you ready for this? I'm ready for this. It's time for relationship advice number 20. Can you believe that? For 20 times now, you've given me the best that you can give me of questions, and I've given you the best that I can give you in advice. Some of you have taken it, some of you haven't. That's okay. It's all advice. It's just what I would do if I was in your situation. The first question is very, well, it's cute, and the young lady has been in a relationship before. She is scared to be in a relationship again. In fact, I don't think she's ready to be in a relationship, but her question is, she thinks she's met the most amazing man. This guy has asked her out, and she says that she compares him to her ex-boyfriend time and time again. Even though this guy that has asked her out now, they've been friends for a long time, she wonders if she should take the chance, even though her heart is missing the ex-boyfriend. I'm going to be wise with you here. If you are in love with that ex-boyfriend, there is nothing in the world that this new guy can say to change your point of view. And it's unfair to the new guy because all you're doing is comparing him to the old guy. And you want him to be the old guy when in fact he's a new guy. So it's not fair to you, it's not fair to him, and you know what they say, in a triangle, there's always three corners. You don't want a triangle in a love relationship. You want point A to point B. If that cannot happen, then get out of that possible relationship. And I know you're going to say that you don't want to be alone, but you don't want to lead someone on. You don't want to give them false hope. You don't want to give them the, you know what? If only. No. There's no way it's going to work. Get out now. Don't lead this poor guy on. He could find somebody else who wants to be in a relationship and who would cherish him for the person that he is. Dear Bombshell, my girl and I have been on and off again. Lately we're off. We share this undeniable attraction so wild when we're together. It's almost uncontainable. But after 6 years of knowing her, she is the reason we're off. She believes everything she thinks. Her wheels are always turning. Like when I see a pretty girl walk by, she'll pick a fight with me and say, "Oh, I see you looking. Why don't you go ask her if she's single and go out with her? It's clear you want to. How do I contain this insanity? Help." It's not insanity. It's insecurity. I would say in a past relationship, maybe she's been cheated on. Maybe she's been lied to. Maybe there's been a time where she thought she could trust somebody, given her full heart to that somebody, and was proven wrong. And sometimes those fears are greater than any love. But if the love is greater than the fear, then you can help her believe in what you two have and can overcome any insecurity. Now that's very important because, yes, you're a man. You're going to look. It's not like you can put yourself in a box. And, as long as you're still there after the pretty girl has walked on by and you're not running after that pretty girl going, "Hey, here's my number." Or doing it, walking up to the girl and giving her the number thinking that the other girl that you're with does not see. I think that it takes a lot more character in a man to not cheat than a man to cheat. So for that, I say I applaud you. And for you to want to be with this woman to help her overcome her securities, it may take more than just a simple "honey, I love you." What makes you think I'm going to cheat on you? And don't question her about it. This is one thing that irritates me, is we turn things around into questions. Don't do that. If you already know she's got trust issues, she's got insecurities, be the man and step up to the plate and bat that ball over the fence. Get up there, tell her, "You know what, I'm not going anywhere." But don't just say it. Do it. Time and time again. It doesn't have to be with gifts. Maybe the best gift you can give her is time of your schedule to show her that she matters to you better than anything else. So let's say one day you tell her, "You know what, honey, there's just no way I'm going to be there to pick you up until 5 o'clock at night. And you might, okay, let's say she gets off at work at 4, you're there at 4:30 while she's, thinking you ain't going to be there until later on in the day, and you surprise her. How awesome is that? It is the gift of your time and concern and effort that you put in a relationship in order to make it work. Because without that, you have nothing. Okay, so this girl I'm interested in has this guy who treats her terrible. I'm the guy who's a great listener. The shoulder to cry on, yet we never have been more than friends. I would like for her to realize that she is the diamond and stop being treated like the coal and cast aside by him. She just doesn't realize how much she shines and how much effort she puts into a waste of time. First and foremost, you are awesome because you see the effort she's putting into a relationship and not being respected, not being communicated with, not being talked with, and apparently is being ignored in some level or capacity. If this woman is not married, if this woman is not engaged, then I would say you have a good chance at sitting down, talking to this girl, and saying, hey, what would you think about going on a date with me? And then tell her, most importantly, before you go on that date, that you want open and honest communication. So that means you want to tell the other man. So there's no fighting, no, well, she was dating me. None of that, I don't really know a good way to put it. None of that ruffling the feathers bit, where the guy's egos come into play. Your ego and this guy's ego. You want to be a man, not a boy, because boys cheat, boys lie, and boys steal. But a man is upfront and honest and able to tell you with his mouth and his actions about where he wants to go with a relationship. Just saying. So be upfront, be honest, communicate before you even go out on a date. And if it does go on a date, make sure she tells the other guy, hey, you know what? We need a timeout so she can take a date with you. Okay? Just saying. Dear Bombshell, oh boy. Like yourself, I've been a victim of love. I believe the best only to be burned time and time again. I'm starting to believe love exists for the young and the beautiful. And, well, books and Hallmark movies. Advice on how to believe in love, if it's actually real in real life. I'm trying to think of a great way to put this. Sometimes when in life we get hurt and those wounds are so deep that we don't overcome and believe in love again. We don't see that love's a possibility for us. We start to build walls around our heart because our heart has hardened to the idea of love. Our heart has been like, you know what? I've been hurt so many times. I'm scared to go there. I'm scared to believe because, you know what? Maybe I'm not pretty enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough. All of those insecurities come bubbling up and you're thinking, you know what? Even if we went on a date, what's going to keep him from going with somebody else tomorrow? Because by golly, it is hard to believe that love exists without being in a book or a movie, without being in a song, without being in... For the people that's a size 0 or goes to bars or cheats, to me, I've seen the worst of the worst, but I've also seen the best of the best. My grandparents had 72 years, blessed years together, and I always tell my grandpa that he's the kind of man that they don't make anymore. Meaning, I've seen their fights. I've seen her to tell him, get out of here. Don't come near me, yada, yada. But he always came back. He never left her hanging. And I would say, being a victim of love is one thing. Being able to believe in love is a totally different thing. I believe that love exists on some level. Being able to believe that it exists for long term without the guy getting bored or finding somebody that's more exciting or more who knows, whatever excuse they can come up with. I just don't think that men nowadays have it in them to overcome their shortcomings, and they themselves get so bored and so being like, yeah, I'm taking her out again, it's like it's more of a chore than it is I can't wait to be with her, I can't wait to spend time with her, get to see what makes her laugh, what makes her happy, what makes her smile, what makes her sad, what makes her cry. And then if he makes her cry, he doesn't want anything to do with it because he wants out of the picture, because that's too much emotional, just saying. I know that for some reason out there, love exists for some people. But there's some of us that have been hurt so bad, scorned so bad, that the idea of love for us, we just don't think we're enough. And we just don't think that a man would take us seriously, interested in us, girls who don't have what these other girls have, and I am at the point where I love giving advice, I love helping others, but for myself, I don't know if love really is out there, and I know my grandma is up there going, yes it is, but at this point, I have been hurt, I have been burned, I have been scorned, and I'm not that much of a bombshell. I'm getting older. Lord knows that's true. I have a birthday coming up, and I'm at the point where romance is great, but I can't wait to watch the Hallmark movie on Saturday night. So if that means books and movies and TV shows, and that's the only romance that some of us get, so be it, You got to be accepting that, life doesn't stop for anybody. You don't get a second chance in life. And I should say it doesn't happen very often. And when it does, it's a blessing, okay? And, life is short. Make the best of it. Make sure that each and every day, your loved ones, you tell them exactly how you feel. So there's no room for doubt, no room for them to feel second best, no room for them to think, if I was just more pretty or more smart or more talented, maybe I would be good enough. That's what I would tell any of you men out there. Don't let your ladies feel unappreciated. Step your game up. And don't compare them to anybody else, because the gift that they're giving you is their time, their attention, and make them feel wanted. Make them feel needed. But don't make them feel like they're an inconvenience or a waste of your time. Okay? That wraps up relationship advice, question number 20 and answer. I'm going to share with you my artwork next. And then I got to get my emotions under control because I want to sing a song, believe it or not. So don't go nowhere.